Howdy, Javad is here. In this video, we are going to learn about new topography, or we call it Toposolid in Revit 2024. In this video, I want to teach you full tools that this new tool in Revit 2024 gives us, and we'll talk about every detail of that. I think it is a better approach for topography because it's a solid in comparison with the surface that we had in previous versions. Okay, now let's go to the Revit 2024 and let's create a Toposolid from scratch. You need to go to the massing and side, and in here you have the option which is Toposolid, and we have the other options that we'll talk about, all of it. Click on Toposolid in here, and the creation of Toposolid is exactly like floor because I think it inherits all of the major points from the floor system. So you just need to create your boundary. For example, I want to create a side for this boundary, and then you can create holes in it too, but we'll come back to it later. Click on finish, and now we have just a floor, but when you select it, you will have a Toposolid. The first thing that you will understand that you can create types for Toposolids in comparison with the Toposurface. Let's go to the edit type, and in here let's create a duplicate, and let's call it, for example, grass. And then you can go to the structure and can give it a thickness. For example, let me give it a thickness to 5 meters, and then you can give it a new material. Let's search for mimic grass in here. Let's bring up the material library. Let's bring this one in. And now let's select it and let's click on use render appearance, or we can make it a little bit lighter. This is gonna look good. Click on OK and OK. Now we have the side. But that's was easy as it is. We will talk about the editing of these two, but that's the way that you can create Toposolid. Maybe it's dull right now because it doesn't have any height or something like that. We'll come back to it later. Maybe you have a Toposurface from your previous files and you want to convert it to Toposolid. How we can deal with that? You just need to select your Toposurface that you have upgraded the file. This is the Toposurface from the previous versions, and when you select it, you will have an option in here, generate Toposolid. You can click on Toposolid, and then you can select the base level and family type. Maybe you have different family types, then you can select the Toposolid type that you want to convert this Toposurface to it. And now the base level is going to be the level 1. That's great. Click on OK, and now you can see we have the Toposolid. But there is a problem in here. You can see when you zoom in and zoom out, maybe you think it's a graphical issue, but it's not, because Revit will keep both of them. We have right now we have a Toposurface and Toposolid at top of each other. So just select the Toposurface and delete it, and now you have a much more beautiful site in comparison with the Toposurface. And now it's the time to talk about how we can create sites according to our CAD files or CSV or points file. It is really easy. You just need to go to the massing and side, and in the drop down menu of Toposolid, click on create from import, and we have two options in here. We have create from CSV and create from CAD. Let's click on create from CSV. Of this tutorial, you can get all of the project files on my Patreon, link in the description. And in here we have a CSV file. Click on it, click on open. Let's this meter, and now we have the site. It is a little bit big, don't worry. Let's see it in here. You can see we have it. Let's change it to the grass maybe, and now you can see we have the Toposolid in here. Let me delete this because the scale is not appropriate with these Toposolids that we have. And let's go to the import, insert, and let's import our CAD file. You can link it too. Let's import the CAD file in here. AutoDD is gonna be fine, and I want to bring it as a black and white and on the level. And the position is great for me right now. I don't want to correct any slightly off axis lines in here, so just click on open. This is the CAD file that we have. Let's activate the select pin elements and bring it on Pinhead and bring it in here, and now we have the right file in here. Now let's go to the massing and side, Toposolid, create from import and create from CAD, select it, and now we have lots of layers in here, but the main layer of my topography is this one. Let's select both of them, or you can just check all and it will work most of the time good without any problem. Click on OK. And now if I rotate, you can see we have a high detail Toposolid in here without any problem. That's great. And also another feature that we have, if your topography was something like this, let me try it in here, it will work fine and it doesn't have any problem. But if you would test the same thing in Revit 2023, an earlier version, you would get some annoying edges, something like, for example, this, and it will instead of something like this, you would have something really bad, for example, like this. It would not recognize the right edges instead of Revit 2024. Now we've learned all of the ways that we can create this. Let me delete the CAD file. We have learned all of the ways that we can create the Toposolid. Now let's learn how we can edit it. For example, let's go to the one that we've created with the Scratch. As you can see, we have all of the options that we have in floors for editing the slope of it. So in here, you can do whatever you want. For example, you can create add a split line in here, and then you can modify it, select it, and we have two options in here. We can specify the height that you want to give from the current level, from survey point, from internal origin, or project base point. I want to have the project base point. I want to select it and give it 2 meters, or let me bring it upper, for example, like this. And now you can add some points on it. Maybe before that, let's place a 3000 millimeter in here, Control Z in here, and now you can see we can create whatever we want. We can create some points in here. When you add more points, it will be much like the topography instead of just harsh edges in here, and you have to work more with it. For example, I can just select this and bring it up, so you can see we have the topography in here. We will talk about the contours in here. So that's the way that you have to edit it, and you have to work with the points and copy it. So that's the way, but I'm not going to spend many time to create a beautiful topography right now. So that's the way you can edit the boundary, edit whatever you want. For example, you can go to the edit sketch and you can create something like this too. I'm just showing you the potentials. Let's trim this with this, and let's do this one. Click on finish. Now you can see we have completely different Toposolid. Let me delete this. I'm going to use this one and this one for the rest of the video. Now the next thing that I want to show you is the way that you can control your contour lines and the graphics of your Toposolid. Let's click on it and let's go to the edit type, and in here we need to go in here. We have a option contour display, and click on it, and now you can create different contour lines in here. For example, you can start and stop from a height, and also you can select the interval. For example, for the main one, I want to have maybe 5000, and for the secondary contours I want to have maybe 1000, and for the range types you can specify the single value or multiple values. The multiple values are the one that you need, and then you can have some subcategories that we'll talk about it later to control the line types of this. Click on OK, click on OK, and now you can see we have the lines in here. But because our secondary and the main contour lines subcategory is not that different, you can understand it. Let's go to the VG, which is the first way that you can edit this, and it's just for the view, and this is view specific option, as you know. Let's go to the Toposolid, and in here you can see we have different lines in here. Let me make this option a little bit bigger. We have the primary contours and secondary contours. Let's go to the primary contours and projection line and make it maybe yellow to just see the difference. Click on OK, and OK, you can see now you can recognize the primary and the secondary contour lines much better. And also you can change the options from the object style, which is a project based settings, so it will affect all of the views. You can press OS, or you can go to the Manage tab, and in here go to the Object Style. Let's go to the Toposolid again, and in here you can see the primary and the secondary. In here too, and you can change the line color or line type in here. And for example, let's go to the secondary contours and change it to something like maybe center line. And we can see we have some thickness in here too. Click on OK, and now you can see the lines. And now let's turn off the thin line to see the thickness of the lines too, or let's see it on maybe 110. And now you can see we can change the settings too. We have some of them in here too. So it's the way that you can create your Toposolid. And now let's go for the next option. The next option that we want to talk about is how to create rows and subdivide the Toposolid. Let's go to the massing side, and when you select the option, when you select your Toposolid, you will have a good option in here, which is subdivide. You can just select it, and let's create maybe a road in here. Let me set my work plane to level 1. Let's create something like this and something like this. Click on finish. You can see we can see the contours too, and maybe you can turn off the inherit contours, and also you can go to the material and change it. There are some reasons that I don't like to use this subdivide for my rows and those things, because the first one is that it doesn't have the minus option, so you can go into the topography. You just need to have a additional height. For example, let's put it on 1000. Now you can see it's just come up and it doesn't have anything else. You can change the material and those things, but it's not that effective. It's just good for changing some materials in different areas. But I will show you another way to create roads and curves for it. And the other option is that you can join it. If you go to the sections, you will see that graphics are not that great, and when you try to join these two together, you just can't, so it doesn't work and it will give you an error. So it's not that effective, and you need to be careful about the additional heights that it's giving you. Maybe you're asking how we can create roads. It's simple. You don't have the split topography anymore, but you just can use a split element. In this case, you just need to select the Toposolid, and now you just easily can create roads in here with this tool. For example, let me create something like this. Click on finish and wait, and now you can see this is the new surface Toposolid that we have. You can reset it, for example, and then you can go to the elements and you can bring it to the level that you want. Let me turn on the now let's apply the same one for here, and let me change this material to anything else, and then you can maybe change the thickness too, and you can align these, and you can do whatever you want. So it's the way that you can create it, and I think it's much better. And also you can add some curves in here. You can add anything on top of it too. The next thing that we want to talk about is building paths, but we don't have building paths in Revit 2024. Maybe that's a good news or bad news, but in my opinion, that's a good news. But before to explore how we can create paths for our buildings and how to cut the Toposolid, if this video was helpful for you, make sure to like this video and share it with your friends and colleagues, and don't forget to go on our Patreon and you can get all of the files there. To create voids in this Toposolid or cut anything, the simple answer is voids. But you can use voids from different aspects. You can use model in place voids, you can use face-based family voids, and also you can use massing. For this video, I'm going to use model in place, but I just said the two other way because sometimes it's better to use families and it's better. But I'm not going to use families right now. I'm just going to use model in place. Let's go to the architecture tab. Let's click on model in place, and let's go to Toposolid. Click on OK and OK. And now you can go to the top view and you can go to the void part in here. You can create a void extrusion. Let's create a void extrusion in here. Click on finish. Now you have the option to bring it up. You have to bring it to the highest level, and then in here let's go to this side, and let's go to the wireframe, and let's bring it a little lower, maybe to here. And now let's click on finish. Before doing finish, you have to cut it from this. Now let's go to the solid again, and now you can see that you can create something like this. Let's create a copy from this. Let's cut it again, and even after that you can change the dimensions very easily, and that's great. And also you can create some other kind of voids too, and I'm just going to show you something that you can play with, because now you can, for example, go for a sweep. Maybe let's go for a sweep, and let's create our path maybe from here to here, something like this. Click on finish, and let's go to the select profile, edit profile, and we have the profile in here. Let's create just a circle in here. Click on finish and finish. We have something like this, and now you can put it on void mode. Now you can cut it from here. You can see you can create some voids like this too, or maybe if you could use it with another profile. Let me just make it smaller. You can make a tunnel, you can make any underground pipe or channels, so it will give you more freedom. And if you want to make it much smarter, for example, you want to have some families in your tunnel, make sure to comment, and I will create a video on making tunnels in Revit with this new tool, because you can do many things with it. Let's put it on maybe 1000. It's very small for this scale. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Click on finish, and maybe let's bring it a little bit down. Now you can see the sweep in here. If you want to have the clean cut, you can go to the sketch path, and you can continue these lines from the two sides, and now you have the great sweep in here. That was impossible in previous versions, so it will give you exact way to create tunnels and all of that in here. The next thing that I want to talk about is that you can join walls and foundation and many of the other categories with these options. For example, you can create a retaining wall in here and in here very easily, and you can get the perfect joining and perfect cut too. Let's go to the structural part, and in here let's click on wall, and let's select a retaining wall in here. And now let's just go to the peak line with the height level 1. I will specify the height later. And let's go to wall face exterior. Let me zoom a little bit. And we have the wall in here. The wall is not visible in here. This is the wall right now that we've created. It's very small. Let me bring it up, and let's go back to the file that we had. And now let's go and you can just attach top base, and click on base and attach it to here, and you can give the height whatever height you want. Let's bring it to here. And in here, if you have any slabs in here, let's go to the wall, let's go for retaining footing and click on it. Now you can see we have a footing in here, and now you can just go to the modify and join this with this and join this with this. You can maybe switch the join order in here. Let's go to the maybe section. You can see that we have the right section in the right place, so we don't have any problem in that case anymore, and that's great. If you are all subscribed, and you know we had a video about cut and fill schedule and Revit topography with graded regions, and we've talked about all of the scheduling tool. If you want to use the same T for Toposolid, you just need to know that it works fine. You need to go to the massing hand side, click on graded region, and I want to create a new topography exactly like the existing one. And now we can select this one, for example. And now we have the exact topography with the exact points. And now let's just escape and come out of this. Now we have two topographies in here, the first one and the second one. Why we see them like this? Because when you use graded region, they will assign it to different phases. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Now you can see we have a new construction. Let me hide it. And now we have another new construction, and which is demolished in new construction. Let me select this and put the phase created on existing and phase demolished in a new construction. I don't want to demolish all of the parts. And now let's just bring back the other one. And in this one, I want to phase created this one and in here. And for the phase filter, I don't want to have the show all. I want to have the show complete and have it on new construction. But when you put the phase on existing, you will have just this one. If you want to see these ones in the existing too, you have to assign phasing to them too. But let's put on new construction and let's change this one a little bit. Or yeah, let's change it a little bit. Let's go to modify. And it's a little bit hard to modify these ones in comparison with the previous ones. I really admit it, but you have to work with it. Everything has cons and pros. Or you can create some voids in here, and then it will give you the net cut and fill in here, and also you can schedule it very easily. The next thing is it really supports many types of things. For example, if we have a let's just copy this wall in here. If you have a wall, let's select the wall and let's click attach and base. It just can attach. You can just attach your walls and anything you want to the Toposurface, which is great. And also you can have the railings too. So you can use railings for curves and those kind of things. Let's click on rails and let's create a rail in here maybe. Let's click on finish and let's click on pick new host and select this one, and you can see it's working perfectly with the host, and you can change the type of it, of course. Go to the glaze panel and you can see it's working with a high percentage of accuracy. So that was it. You can use site components, of course. You can use parkings, floor-based elements, and other categories too. And my opinion on this, it's really great, and I think it has lots of potential to add much more features. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please don't forget to watch this video in here, which is about scattering trees and all of the objects in Enscape. It will be great for populating your scene. And if you want to get access to all of the exercise files, you can go to our Patreon. The Patreon link is in the description. And if you want me to create a video about tunnels, make sure to comment down below.